Welcome to Technical Tuesday. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today we've got an exciting new series for you. But before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, and do share, especially if you find value in this presentation. Okay, so this is 100% of your trading success. 100%. So this series is going to devote itself to 100% of your trading success. It's not technical indicators. It's not either statistical indicators. It's none of that stuff. No fundamental analysis, no technical analysis, nothing to do with that. It has to do with what happens up here, our psychology. And honestly, if you read any trading books, it'll ascribe 90% of a trader's success is their psychology. And if you think about it, it's even a non-starter. I would argue even before, it's 100% of your success. And hear me out here, okay? We are based on both belief and values. That's the way we run our life, right? And if you see new traders who come to the platform, and I've seen this time and time again, they're always making money in their first 5 to 10 trades. And the question is, what happened? And it's very simple. It's that when you're taught how to trade, you just execute and you're pure. You have no writing on the manuscript. There's the page is blank. So there's nothing to really compare to. There's nothing to second guess yourself about. There's nothing to rationalize anything. You're just doing what you're being taught to do. And that is why you see success. Now, if you don't have, or you have preconceived notions about who you can be and what's the ceiling, what's that limit of yourself, if you limit yourself and you continuously don't break new beliefs about yourself, then you will be a non-starter, okay? And that's just the reality of it. And I wouldn't even just argue about trading. I would argue about everything and anything you do in life. If you don't think that you could be a great carpenter, then you won't be a great carpenter. It's just very simple. Now, beliefs and values really need to be ingrained emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, the whole 9 yards. It has to be really ingrained into the person's core in all aspects, okay? And it's not just me saying it, it's many, many smarter people than me who have done a lot more than this and invested a lot more time into this than I have. But this remains to be true, okay? It's both our beliefs and our values that define who we are as human beings. And if we don't think that we can succeed in a particular trade, then we won't break that barrier. Now, I'm going to give you an example of this in one of the psychology books that I've read. There was a kind of like a case that they put together, and they wanted to make the following point. And the guy went onto the streets of Chicago with one of these placards, the ones that you wear over your body, and he said, "Free money," okay? And he would go around and he'd be distributing $100 bills to people. And people would start walking away from him when he approached them without saying anything. It just said free money. And people would be like, no, I got to go this way. No, I'm not interested. And he's like, what is going on with these people? I'm giving them $100. And this is like 30 years ago. $100 was much more than what it is worth today. And people would just avoid him. So he learned to believe that these people have a belief system that there is no free money in life, that money has to come with some sort of sweat, some sort of, hard work and all that stuff. And in trading, sometimes you have free money. And sometimes in situations, there are just these layups. There's just these like easy cases. They're just like, it's a non-brainer. It's a not even starter. It's like my 10-year-old could do it, okay? Not my 5-year-old, but my 10-year-old could definitely do it. And the reason is that people don't believe that there could be something for free money, right? You got to go and get a job. You got to work hard 9 to 5 and make sure that you're sweating. And if you don't do that, that's not cold work. Well, I'll tell you differently, okay? There are times where that 90% of the work that you do comes before the actual physical work, okay, or the mental work. It's the stuff that you don't see that gets done in trading, that gets itself done in 5, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, that time frame that you're trading, that then accrues that entire time. So if you think about it, if you're trading, for example, 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, because you're trading a certain number and the volatility is giving it to you, and you're making like $800, $500, whatever it is, that time that you weren't on the screen, that you put into it, that's part of the working time. And you could, divide it by the entire working time that you're working. Now, that's not my main point, but my main point is that there's a lot of belief system people come into trading that's misconstrued. And as a result of it, we got to do what Yoda does. Yoda taught Luke Skywalker that he had to unlearn what he's learned. That was probably one of the best lines I've ever heard in any movie. And one of my first mentors to, give him some credit for it. And he said that to Luke Skywalker. He said, you have to unlearn what you've learned. And it really stuck with me because one of my mentors actually quoted it, and Yoda became one of my mentors after that. And listen to some of the stuff he says. It's really very wise. But this is really a very important thing. And if you have to unlearn what you've learned, it takes a little bit of friction. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little of new patterns that you have to think about trading and develop new patterns. And that leads us to a paradigm shift. And once you made that paradigm shift, you look at the world completely differently. Now, there's a couple of guys that I see online. They're actually interviewing these really successful people. And the guy says to him, well, if you lost it all tomorrow, do you think you could make it again? So the guy says to him, absolutely. It's not one, not twice, not three times. I've seen it several times. And the point that they're trying to make there is that making money and being successful is a certain headspace. And I truly believe that. If you get to that wave, if you can tap into that frequency of what success is, you've made that paradigm shift. And that's all it is. It's that your relationship with money has to change, your relationship about fear of success, fear of failure, all that stuff that goes into it has to change. So once you make that paradigm shift, you'll see success. Thank you for joining us for our first series of Technical Tuesday, where we focus on psychology. We'll see you here next week.